This is second Ezra 15. I will start at verse 20. I will be jumping here and there. Behold, says God, I will call together all the king of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and the Libanus, to turn themselves one against another, to repay the things that they have done to them. Who are them, man? The Israelites, man. Verse 35. They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of star upon the earth, even their own star, and the blood shall be from the sword unto the belly. See? Let me start at 35 there. Behold, the cloud from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. Or in this news, they tell you Russia fly nuclear capable bomber to region facing Alaska. And this is a serious case, man. This is telling you the Russian, amen, they are doing exercise, man. When this war broke out, they will be flying from their base, man, wherever they are, to America, man, with their nuclear, man, capable bombers, man, amen, to unleash hell in America, man. Amen, to unleash hell in America, man. And as a matter of fact, they tell you, see, amen, this World War III, America will be fighting in their own soil, man. Like another wars in which America went, they were fighting in foreign land, man. But this war, man, you will be seeing, man, nuclear capable bombers, man, and the nuclear missiles flying, man, on the soil of America, man. Amen. Verse 36, and the dung of men unto the camel hole, and there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon the earth. They that see the last shall be afraid, and the trembling shall come upon them. And there come great storm from the south and from the north, and another part from the west. Man. A strong wind shall arise from the east, and shall open it, and the cloud which he raised up in wrath, and a star stirred to cause fear towards the east, and the west wind shall be destroyed. Man. And a great and mighty cloud shall be puffed up full of wrath, and the star that they may make all the earth afraid. Man. Talking about that nuclear wars, those nuclear missiles are likened into a star falling from heaven, man, because they are red, man. When they touch ground zero, all hell break loose, man. And them that dwell therein, and they shall pour out of every high and eminent place on horrible star, man. Fire and hail and a flying sword, man. Hot as a flying sword, man. This is not a fiction movie where a sword are flying, man. This is talking about nuclear war, man. And many water, that all field may be full, and all rivers with the abundance of the great water, man. So the great wrath is coming upon the earth, man. That atomic pestilence, which is the nuclear missile, man. All pestilence, but the pestilence of the nuclear missile is an atomic pestilence, man. See? This is Isaiah 47, starting at verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground, there is no throne, man. This is talking about when, amen, the power structure of America is brought down to the dust, man. Let's continue, daughter of the Chaldean, for those shall no more be called tender and delicate, man. That goes into America have never fought a war in their own soil, man. So this war have not been touched. That's why she is bragging about him being a virgin, man. But he is a whore, man. When we take that skate, man, the nation is you will see how bad this hole is, man. Because when you take a skate of a hole, you will see all kind of things. You will see genital warts, STD, and everything, man. You will see, man, everything. I don't want to mention them, man. And what happened to a hole, man? When you realize, or in the street or a certain street, you realize that a certain woman was a home, man. All the brothers have slept with him, man, and she was lying. What happened next, man? You hate that home, man. And if you get the chance, you smack him, you smack her, man. That's what will happen. These other nations will realize, oh, damn, this was a home, man. The home can't be trusted. They will lay nuclear on her ass, man. Verse 2, take a millstone in the grand mill and cover the rocks, make bare the leg and cover the thigh, pass over the rivers, man. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered here, thy shame shall be seen, man. I will make vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man, man. He's talking about Esau, man. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel, man. Sit so silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldean, for thou shalt not be called thy lord of kingdom. See? Let's go to verse 8. Therefore hear now, this is those that art given to pleasure and dwells carelessly. What people dwell carelessly in this world, man? The American people, man. That dwells careless, that say in thy heart, I am and none else beside me, I shall not sit as a widow, man. When you go to 2 Ezra 15, man, amen, the whore shall be a widow with many stripes, man. With many stripes, man. As a matter of fact, let us get that, man. See, amen. So this prophet, it is a repetition, man. You see? Let me start at 2 Ezra 15 and 49. I will send a plague upon thee, widowhood. In Isaiah 47, what was the whore saying, man? I am not a widow, man. There is none beside me, man. What is 2 Ezra 15 telling you? I will send a plague upon thee, widowhood, man. One of the plague of this whore will be widowhood, man. All her lover will leave her, man. And he will remain alone, man. All her lover, man, that's widowhood, man, and loneliness. So America, in the coming years, it will stand alone, man, to fight against all the nation in which he lied to. He did peace treaty, and then he betrayed them. He went to war with them, man, and everything, man. Poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence to waste thy houses with destruction and death. And the glory of thy power shall be dried up as a flower. The heat shall arise that is sent over thee, man. Thou shalt be weakened as a poor woman with stripes, and as none chastened with wounds, so that the might and the lover shall not be able to receive thee, man. Amen. So all the lovers of America will not receive her, man. He will be a widow. And let's go and see this different build up to ww3. What we call it the ww3 algorithm. The build up to ww3.
It's Dina Carroll Medi here, and for this next report, I'd like to bring you an update in regards to some events that have occurred in the last couple of days. And I first would like to take you to this report written by Michael Schneider of the Most Important News. And he is reporting, as a result of our ongoing trade war, U.S. relations with China are already rapidly deteriorating. But now the chaos in Hong Kong threatens to completely wreck them. Violence between political protesters and riot police is making headlines all over the globe. And the Chinese are blaming the United States for what is happening. On Tuesday, flights at Hong Kong International Airport were canceled for a second day in a row. and riot police stormed the airport in an attempt to evict the thousands of protesters that were occupying it. And needless to say, the Chinese government is extremely alarmed by these developments. One top official told the press that these protests in Hong Kong have begun to show signs of terrorism, and it appears right now it's only a matter of time before a major crackdown happens. It is being reported that China has been moving troops towards Hong Kong, and the Chinese are also now refusing to allow U.S. warships to make stops in Hong Kong. Apparently, they are afraid that the presence of U.S. warships may escalate the situation, and so they aren't taking any chances. And it may be a very long time until the U.S. Navy is able to use Hong Kong ports in the future. At this point, the Chinese have concluded that external foreign forces are responsible for the protests in the city, and the finger of blame is being pointed directly at the United States. According to the NPR, they reported that along with its increasingly strident rhetoric, Beijing has encouraged conspiracy theories now popular within China that the protests were instigated and funded by the United States. In a second press conference last week, China's Office on Hong Kong blamed external foreign forces for the protests, citing several meetings U.S. leaders had with Hong Kong pro-democracy advocates in Washington this spring. The ideas have gained significant support in mainland China. When a prominent international relations commentator dismissed theories of CIA support for the protests as an unfounded conspiracy, he was vilified as a traitor by online bloggers. Michael goes on further to report that most Americans are not deeply angry with China, and so they don't understand why they would be angry at us. But it is critical for us to understand that the Chinese now consider the United States to be enemy number one. And anti-American sentiment is constantly being fueled by official statements from the Chinese government. For example, the Foreign Ministry spokeswoman recently told the press that the Hong Kong protests are somehow the work of the United States. And she also warned that those who interfere in Hong Kong will only get themselves burned. But so far, Trump has taken a decidedly neutral stance, and he seems frustrated that the Chinese have been blaming him for what is taking place. Trump tweeted on Tuesday, "Many are blaming me and the United States for the problems going on in Hong Kong, and I can't imagine why. Our intelligence has informed us that the Chinese government is moving troops to the border with Hong Kong. Everyone should be calm and safe." And in separate remarks to reporters, President Trump stated that the Hong Kong thing is a very tough situation. "I hope it works out peacefully. I hope nobody gets hurt. I hope nobody gets killed." Michael goes on further to state that as with so many other things in life, perception is often more important than reality. And what really matters in this situation is that the Chinese are 100% convinced that the United States is behind these protests. There is probably nothing that President Trump or other U.S. officials could do to dissuade them from believing this. And that means that anti-American sentiment inside China is likely to continue to intensify as long as the protests continue. Needless to say, this is going to make a trade deal even less likely. And that is really bad news for the entire global economy. We are definitely in a very precarious situation concerning China, and it seems as if each day that passes by, tensions continue to escalate. Now, hopefully over time, things will begin to calm down, but as of right now, tensions are definitely very high. And as always, I will continue to keep you updated. But I would like to move on and talk about Russia next. It is being reported, Russia stated on Wednesday it had flown 2 nuclear-capable Tu-160 bombers to a far eastern Russian region opposite Alaska as part of a training exercise that state media said showed Moscow's ability to park nuclear arms on the United States doorstep. The strategic bomber, nicknamed the White Swan in Russia, is a supersonic Soviet-era aircraft capable of carrying up to 12 short-range nuclear missiles and flying 7,500 miles non-stop without refueling. Russia's Ministry of Defense said in a statement that the planes had covered a distance of 3,728 miles in over 8 hours from their home base in western Russia to a region which faces Alaska. It said the flight was part of a tactical exercise that would last until the end of this week and was designed to rehearse the Air Force's ability to rebase to operational airfields and to practice air-to-air refueling. The Russian government newspaper said on its website that the flight showed Moscow's ability to base nuclear bombers within 20-minute flight time from the United States, which it said was just over 372 miles away. Finally, it reports that the Defense Ministry stated that 78 planes were involved in this exercise, suggesting it covered other areas as well. So definitely a very interesting situation concerning Russia, and I'll continue to follow this report and bring you updates. But I would like to switch gears and talk about India and Pakistan. It is being reported that apparently Pakistan's PM has accused India of preparing for military action. Pakistan's Prime Minister stated on Wednesday that India is planning a military action in the disputed Kashmir region that has long been a flashpoint between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. In a speech, he told the region's parliament that India planned more extensive action than that of February, when fighter jets struck inside Pakistan following a dramatic escalation in tension between the rivals. Khan stated that they have made a more horrendous plan to divert world attention from their move in Kashmir. They plan action in Kashmir. The Pakistani army is fully aware that India has made plans of taking action. Meanwhile, Indian security officials stated on Wednesday a group of Pakistan militants, backed by the military, tried to infiltrate Indian-controlled Kashmir to promote violence. The ANI cited unidentified Indian Army sources as saying there was a major infiltration attempt into Kashmir on Tuesday night by militants who were given fire cover from Pakistan Army posts. And Pakistan's military did not respond to requests for comment. It certainly sounds like wars and rumors of wars as well as...
So that was a report on the algorithm of ww3, in which here in Britain we bring it daily. You see these other camps, they don't prophesize, man. What do you think you prophesize, man? I mean, by measuring the time diligently, man. How do you measure the time diligently? By looking the news and reporting, man, as a watchman. If you see any camp, don't report on prophecy. That is a lie. That camp is a lie, man. And what do you see here in Great Miston? We do this epistle every day, man. Every day, man. We do this epistle, man. And we are compelled by the Holy Spirit to do these epistles, man. Amen. So that's it, man. If you see a camp not prophesizing, you need to learn away from that camp. That's the setup, man. How can you be a prophecy and you are not prophesizing, man? First of all, a prophet, you need first to be a watchman for you to be a prophet. How can you be a prophet without being a watchman, man? You are a liar, man. With this, I hope you are edified. Until next time, shalom.